Hi guys, let's make another information dump video. I've been a driving instructor for 22 years. I missed my own anniversary of that. Yeah, it's been 22 years. I'm releasing this video in real time driving. It's going to speed up in a minute of as much information as I can physically say whilst this video is playing out. I'll have to prioritise things that I think is most important for you because the video is going to be travelling so quickly. This is a 30-mile-an-hour sign on both sides of the road. That's called a gateway sign. That means it's a new speed limit. So when you're with the examiner and that happens, you need to check your mirrors. Either way, like for the slower or the faster speed limit, you've got to check your mirrors. Check out this sign on the left. It's a warning sign. So it's a triangle with a double bend in the side. If you add two bits to the side of that, that can actually make a W, that sign. So the inner part of the triangle makes the peak of the inside of the W. So you know it's a warning sign. So that's pretty cool. Warning, slow down. Whatever's in the triangle just means warning, slow down, basically. Double bend. So that means that we need to be in a working gear. 1, 2 and 3 are your working gears. So you tend to do stuff in those gears. So you turn corners, you do hazards, stuff where you need to turn the wheel. 4, 5 and 6 are your cruising gears. So you tend to need to be on a straighter road with less hazards for those gears. They save money, those gears. 1, 2 and 3 are really important, but they are quite expensive gears. So we want to get out of them when we can at the right time to save fuel. So when we get to the end of the road, this is a closed T-junction. That means that I can't see on the left and the right because of bushes, houses or other hazards. So I need to approach this junction with first gear as I enter it. Or come up to it, sorry, and there's a give way line on the floor, so I need to give way, but I didn't have anyone to give way to, so I was able to pull out straight away. At the end of the road, I'm turning left at another give way. There's going to be a triangle printed on the floor, which is there. It's an upside down triangle. So the upside down triangle is a reminder to give way. The sign itself on the stick on the left, if it gets covered in snow, you'd still know what's underneath it because an upside down triangle is a give way, but the normal size side up triangles are just warning signs. So I'm going to take the next road on the left and I must go into the slip road. I absolutely have to go in because it's a 50-mile-an-hour road. People behind me need to overtake me. People fail for not going into the slip road. As I turn in, I must turn my signal off immediately because otherwise it will look like I'm turning left again, which I wasn't. The line in the road here has a long white part and then the gaps in between the white line are very small. So this is the hazard line. They do look quite different, but this is definitely a hazard line because it's a really bendy road and we don't have any lampposts on this road. So it's hazard line. Line. So this is a sign on the left 30. That is a repeater sign. So this road doesn't have any lampposts. It's got houses but no lampposts. Houses and lampposts are normally a dead giveaway that it's 30, but because there isn't any lampposts, there was reminders every 15 seconds that it was a 30. Check out the sign. Yay, it's the national speed limit sign. Great. So white sign with a black slash, that's the fastest speed limit that we have in England. So on this single track road, one lane to go in one direction with a line in the middle and one lane to go the other way, we're allowed to go up to 60 on this road. That's the top speed limit that I can do, not a target, but yeah, that's the top. On a dual carriageway or motorway, I can go up to 70. There's loads of warning signs here. So I've got a warning about traffic lights, and I've had a warning about horses, and I've also got a warning that the road narrows on the left side. Notice that the peak is at the top of all of these warning signs, so you can make the W with it, and the upside down triangle is the give way. Oh, that was lucky, wasn't it? So we check our mirrors and we overtake this. So gateway sign 30, back into normal area now. Going to take the next road on the left. Have to be very careful that pedestrians aren't crossing the road or any bikes are coming up on my left side because those are the things that would have priority. But other than that, I've got priority to turn from a main road to a side road over cars, so I can just turn in. These parked vans are very close to the junction. It's a good thing that I went in slowly just so that other person had time to be able to get through. So I am now driving down a road where it's pretty clear down here, so there's no reason for me not to pick up speed. So I would definitely be able to do 30 here. If you were on your driving test and you didn't do 30 here, the examiner may be a little bit confused because there's not a lot of hazards about. However, hazards are coming now. So we've got the bridge and we've got the narrowing road, which was the sign there, and we've got a school warning signs. And now I'm going to go slowly because I'm worried about big vehicles like buses, trucks and things, or larger vehicles coming towards me. So I slow down a little bit here and I look over the top of the hill or the bridge. Looking at the sign on the left, it says maximum speed 20 when the lights flash, but the lights are not flashing. So this is still a 30-mile-an-hour road, but I do need to be careful because of side roads, hence this person. So I did have to be careful. And now there's zebra crossings on this road with the zigzag lines being no parking and no overtaking of another car. If somebody has illegally parked there, obviously you may have to overtake that parked car because you don't want to be there all day, but be extremely careful. You're not allowed to overtake a moving car there because of the zigzag lines, and you definitely can't park there because that's an offence, but people do break the law. But if you are having to overtake, then be careful. Warning sign, bend coming up, there's a black and white chevron. Definitely back down to a working gear if I'm not already in one, so back to 1, 2 and 3 depending on how sharp the bend was. I'm sure that I'm in third gear to go around this bend because it's not too bad, but I don't want to be in 4, 5 and 6. I do not want to be in a cruising gear to go around that corner because I'm going to turn the wheel, so I need to be in a working gear. So I'm sure that I chose third gear for that. Okay, so I'm going to be soon coming up to a crossroads, which I'm turning right at. So I need to be very careful about when I time my signal. So I must make sure that I get past this turning on the right here, and then I go mirror signal to the right. The keep clear is not boxed out, so I just don't stop on the letters. If it was boxed out with a box around it, I wouldn't be allowed in the box either. But in this case, there's no box, so I'm just not going on the letters of the keep clear. Pedestrians crossing the road because there's a phase of a traffic. You can see where she can press the button on the side there. So there's a pedestrian phase on this crossroads. We're turning right. We have to give way to oncoming people. Even if there's not a yellow box inside, you still pretend that there is one. So literally just paint one in your mind. There's no one to give way to. So this is ridiculously easy. I'm just going to be able to turn right without having to worry at all. But you can stop in the middle. As long as your exit is clear. This is the exit road here. As long as that exit is clear, I can stop in the middle, whether there's a yellow box or not, and I can give way to the oncoming people, and people then behind me can turn left and go straight on, which is very useful for them. But don't go and stop in a yellow box unless your exit is clear. I'll link my other video so that's clear. At this roundabout, I'm going to be going straight on second exit. So the first exit is on the left, and the one that I'm taking is classed as a straight on in this case. If you did signal right on your test, it would be fine because the exit is after 12 o'clock, so don't worry about it too much. But if the examiner says follow the road ahead, it's the second exit. He hasn't said the words left or right, so you do not need to use a signal. There's a flashing amber light at that Pelican crossing. I'll talk about that later, but a flashing amber light means give way to pedestrians, so if there was no one there, I still would be able to go. Pedestrian here does have priority, and as you can really see that he knows that as well, so we had to give way to him, or I had to give way to him because I'm the driver here. So I'm just giving way to the right at the roundabout here, and then I'm just going to be turning. And then there's another pedestrian crossing here, again zigzag lines, and it's a zebra crossing in this case because it's black and white like the zebra. The bleacher beacons flash all the time, just bringing your attention to it, and the flashing I say says give way, give way, give way. Turning left at the roundabout, it's a mini roundabout, so it's just painted on the floor. If I was turning right at this mini roundabout, by the way, I would not have to signal when I'm leaving. So if I was turning right at the roundabout, I would signal into the right, but I don't have to signal out because it's just painted. If the inside of the roundabout has a curb inside, that's totally different. I would have to signal when I leave as well. So if the roundabout has a curb in the middle, I have to signal when I leave. If it's just painted, then I don't. Have a look at this island in the road here. That's a pedestrian safe haven for people to stop on. You do not have to give way to pedestrians who are waiting on there. If they're waiting in a sensible way, you do not have to stop and give way to them. If they're walking in front of you, that is obviously completely different. You need to keep the pedestrian safe, just like that old man who was crossing a minute ago. I had to keep him safe, right? Because he was in the road. But if people are on these little islands and they're just looking at you, you just calmly and carefully go past them in a safe way. Okay, so we're turning left. There's a gateway sign of a 40, so I know that my new road is going to be a 40. I've been warned about bikes on approach as well, and there was a warning sign with a bike in it too, so just warning me and reminding me about bikes still. Okay, so the line in the middle of the road is still a hazard line, and that's because we've got a toucan crossing coming up, so two can cross the road at the same time. Bikes and pedestrians can use this one. It's a play on words, two can cross, and you've got the zigzag lines, no parking, no overtaking of cars, and you can never stop on the walkway itself. Going left at this roundabout. Toucan crossing, there's like three main different types. You've got the Pelican, which one has the flashing amber light, which basically means give way to pedestrians. And if there's no one crossing and it's flashing, then you can go through that. If it's a toucan, then the bikes can stay on the bike and they can actually cycle across the road without having to dismount. You've got the zebra, and all of these have the zigzag line on the floor as well, by the way. But none of them, you can never stop on any of the walkways themselves, ever. Like if there's a queue of traffic in front of you, you must leave a gap. So if the blind come, then they can cross the road nicely, and you can never overtake another moving car, and you can never park there as well. There's another one of these 20-mile-an-hour signs, max speed 20 when the lights flash, but again, the lights are not flashing, so the area is still 30. If it was flashing because it was school in and out times, I would do 20. I'm turning left at this roundabout. I've been warned about traffic lights coming up with the other warning sign. God, there's loads of warning signs, isn't there? Everywhere. So we're going to turn right at this crossroads. So I'm going to take a right position so people can then be on my left. I stop before the cycle lane because cyclists are small and hard to see. So I'm turning right. The bus is just going to turn left first. I'm in the middle because I am allowed to be, because my exit is clear. I didn't know how big his trailer was, so I stayed a little bit longer inside to give way to the oncoming people, and I'm turning right. So like I say, I will link the other video to my Crossroads video, but I was allowed to be in the centre because my exit was clear. That means that the people behind me can turn left and go straight on, but I'll link the other video. I was kind here. I fancied giving way to this guy because I couldn't get very far anyway. As he went, I didn't just follow him. That would be not safe. So I looked ahead to see if I could go, and I couldn't. I could see a car coming, so I didn't go. And then I went for the overtake, but then he used his signal, so I can't overtake a bus that is signalling to the right. That's not lawful. I've got to let a bus pull out when it's signalling to the right. Some of the buses actually have a sticker on it to say, let me out. Follow the rule number, whatever it is in the highway code. So we've got another pelican crossing here. This would have an amber flashing light. If it was flashing and there was no one there, I could drive through it. If it was amber flashing and there was people crossing, clearly I would not be able to go. So the amber flashing light means stop or go. So you can just think of it as a red or a green light, depending on what you can see. The bus is about to pull up in a very strange place. He literally just goes into the side road. So being far back like this really helped me out. When you're following a big vehicle, you should always be further back so you can see around him. But in this case, it really helped me out because he really pulled up in a very unusual place there. Okay, so approaching a roundabout, turning left, I've had a gateway sign, which is the 40. It is quite common to get a gateway sign on approach to a roundabout, so you know what the speed limit is going to be in the road after you've done the roundabout. When I first learned about this when I was a driving instructor, I was like, what a weird place to put it. But that's where they are. So it tells you about your new speed limit on approach to a roundabout. So after the roundabout, you can just get going and you can just do the new speed limit, especially if it's a higher speed limit. That's quite cool because then you can just get going in the new road as soon as possible. Okay, so there's lots of lanes here. We've got the races on, so we've got quite a lot of sort of pop-up yellow signs to tell people how to position, and there's lots of emergency diversions here with triangles and circles and squares for people to follow for different reasons. When there's any changes to the road, they can pop up signs with yellow signs for diversions and following different lanes and stuff. This traffic light has a backwards L to it, and that's because it's going to hold a green filter arrow. Green filter arrows are a way of knowing if you've got priority. So this arrow is about to come on, so definite priority. A lot of the time when you're turning left or going straight, you have priority anyway, but having a green filter arrow gives you priority. So especially cool if you have one when you're turning right, because then you don't have to give way to oncoming people if you have a green filter arrow. That's a bonus, right? I'm going to cross the white line slightly here to overtake this parked car for whatever reason he's parked there. These pedestrians were really dangerous. So they were walking towards traffic, but it made me feel very uncomfortable. I slowed right down on this 40-mile-an-hour road because if somebody oncoming just overtook without thinking properly, that would have been very dangerous for me. So I stayed right back and I really checked the road before I went there. That made me feel really uncomfortable. yeah, so as I go down this 40-mile-an-hour road, there's not a lot that's stopping me from going quickly until I get to the bridge. So at this point, I'm checking my mirrors. There's my warnings about the side road and the bridge. I don't know what's coming, and I'm worried about bigger vehicles, so I slow down a little bit, and there's a warning on the floor to tell me to slow down as well. And this is the end of my journey. So I'm going to be turning right, and I'm going to be parking my car. And yeah, I really hope that some of this information has helped you. I had to prioritise. There was so much to talk about. I had to prioritise what I thought was a good idea to tell you. So I really, really, really hope this information has helped you today. And it helps you with your driving test or your driving in general. And as always, I really hope it helps you. And of course, I will see you on the next one.